this is Speak On It. Today is December the 4th, 2020. And I want to thank the staff at Chicago Access Network for allowing me this opportunity to be here as they reopen and relax to the degree from the lockdown. As everybody knows, the lockdown always take you out of rotation. So today I've been able to get back into rotation, and I'm thankful for that. You know, I don't usually tell all of my business, but I got to tell my little business today. I was asking Omari to change something that I just got through asking him to change it from somewhere else. And Omari said, man, you all over the place today, huh? And see, that's what happened when you get these lockdowns. You get so much stuff accumulating until everything is a priority. So, you know, it's difficult to look at how people's real lives must be rolling out because everybody is all over the place. Not just because Omari had to check me because I just told him, woo, he said, whoa, dude, I just did this. You right? But today, if it seemed like everything is all over the place, it is. That's because so much has happened. But what you see on the screen right now is what I want you to look at. The West Side Heroin Opioid Task Force. A few years ago, State Rep. LaShawn Ford convened a group of partners in his district because there was an epidemic at the time, which now we can call a pandemic, with a pandemic, of people ODing on heroin, opioid, and other substances. And what I wanted to do today is just flash back a little bit on this here, because this is always part of our piece, and I think, as Omari suggested, maybe we should open all of the programs or some place on the programs we'll use this. That'll save me from not wasting, but investing a lot of time rehashing stuff. If anybody is experiencing a challenge with substance, heroin, opioid, any of those substances, I suggest you call the West Side Heroin Opioid Task Force or contact them. I forgot, y'all don't call people no more. Y'all contact them. Because there are agencies in the network, in that task force, that even though your situation might not be heroin, fentanyl, it might be meth, it might be crack. I'm shocked as hell. Somebody the other day said, man, that's that crackhead. I said, what you talking about? This ain't 1990. This man, them crackheads didn't go nowhere. They just out now. And they're absolutely right. My neighborhood has not been so crowded with dope-selling creatures since the 90s. They're all over the place, calling it out on the corners, just like they were in the 90s. Although they made this marijuana legal, and the aldermen say they are now entrepreneurs and not just damn dope dealers. See, I'm all over the place. I'm trying not to go there. Now the damn dope dealer is the entrepreneur. But you made all of the white folk dope dealers the dispensary clients or customers. But the black ones are in the community now. You can't even drive through the community, get to your house without them running up on your car. Since they know your car, you might get a break. But I remember them days, man. You can't blow at them because they're going to shoot you in the head. And you damn politicians, you sit here like you don't live in the community. You have to drive through the same stuff I drive through. You see it, you do nothing but raise taxes. And I guess I should say, luckily for the city of Chicago, that marijuana money offset maybe some of the property taxes or some of the other stuff that they was going to yoke us with. So now it's $94 million now. And the first time since the 80s, you had a very close call in city council with the vote 22 to 28. But once again, it's about them Negroes, them see no evil Negroes, speak no evil Negroes, hear no evil Negroes, think nothing but evil Negroes. Now, as long as them white folks was running it, you ain't had that type of tightness. But now that old girl, now that is running it, 22 to 28. But just think, I'm gonna just use October, $100 million in reefer sales. Since October, they done sold over $500 million of reefer. That's what they did. Yeah, they did that. $500 million of dope. 500 million. But the folks on the street have been forced back up of boiled ground to disturb the community in order to try to make a living. And you politicians are worried about this lying-ass Biden, this fake news. Those are the people that's taking over the government. You mad at Trump. But Trump ain't did nothing compared to this farce that's taking place now. I don't know how y'all can't see it. It's insane. So I know a lot of y'all using dope or something, because dude said he's going to give you hope, and all you got to do is look at what he's appointed so far. There's no hope for the black man, the Negro. Some other generic type, dark-skinned creature he done put there, but that's the only thing, but he's not a Negro. He's just like that CIA agent, descendant, Barack Obama, who y'all love so well. We're going to show you something about him in a minute, because he sounds just like that Miss Harris woman. And they asked him about what you going to do. Why don't you identify something for the Negro? Oh, that ain't how it's done. But damn it, it's done like that for everybody else. But y'all sit here and you keep lying back to these four creatures here. You keep lying that Trump is lying. You's a lie. You know damn well Negroes don't vote by mail like that. And when they got information, you know yourself what happened. So the overthrow is not so much on Trump. The overthrow is the same people that tried to overthrow him ever since he been there. And I ain't standing up for Trump. I'm just saying, you accused him of the Russian thing, came over nothing. You tried to impeach him, came over nothing. And now the same people in Georgia, Kemp and that other dude that stole the election from that woman, you believe that they stole it, but you don't believe that they got the same system going now. It ain't over yet. And I'm hoping that Trump and them, he need to get another team of lawyers, because those dudes look like a buffoon. And I know I like him, but he just don't nobody take him serious. They need somebody that can prove this thing. Because you know the media is lying to you. You know this election has been rigged and stolen. You know this. So when he say, I'm all over the place, yeah, because I'm looking. And we got a whole, see, the other menu is 3-hour show, so I have to have a lot of information. But here I had to cut it down to about 45 minutes. So that's hard as hell. But this old thing you got going up there now, he say, I'm going to give you Negroes some hope. And when somebody offer you hope, believe me, take my word, the only thing you're going to get out of that is a dope fiend habit. Because the hope ain't going to never materialize into the help that you need. Let's move around, man.
We begin with this developing story, an honor escort for the retired fire veteran gunned down in the middle of the street.
An honor well earned. Our Jermont Terry has been on this all day. Jermont, you spoke to the victim's close friend and fellow firefighter.
I did, Brad, and Lieutenant Williams is described as a caring man who spent much of his time with the Chicago Fire.
Y'all at home just got an advantage, because I can't hear, but I hope
and now his murder leaves not only his family devastated, but fellow firefighters too. Holding back tears, William Marshall struggles to come to terms. His longtime friend, Lieutenant Dwayne Williams, is gone.
I knew Dwayne since we was kids. We grew up together.
And they worked together at the same firehouse for years as Chicago firefighters. The two expected to enjoy years of retirement.
Many people that know him from the department would tell you that he had a very kind spirit.
Thursday afternoon, as Williams stopped off to pick up some snacks at 118th and Western, police say 4 men bum-rushed him armed with guns. They wanted his SUV. The robbers fired. Lieutenant Williams fired back. But the 26-year veteran who retired 2 years ago would go down with a deadly injury to his abdomen.
We had spoke on something like that before. He would have gave it to him.
He has saved lives out here in the work that he has done. Now, why would you take his life?
Upon learning of the shooting in Morgan Park, Marshall rushed to Williams' house.
I came over here to speak to his wife, who I know very well, about it. She didn't know. She did not know. She tried to call him. And at that moment, that's when the reporting officer came up. And it was then that reality set in.
A loving husband of more than 30 years, a father to 4, taken away. His years of service honored through a processional from Christ Hospital in Oak Lawn with full escort to an awaiting brothers and sisters at the medical examiner's office. Lieutenant Williams, despite being retired, served his city proudly and ultimately died in these streets. As police search for the 4 men responsible, family and friends have a clear message.
If and indeed you get a call that they're looking for your son, your nephew, help them. Give the detectives the information where they're at, because it was wrong. It was wrong.
Tonight, it's not clear if any of the shots that Lieutenant Williams fired at his carjackers actually hit them. Police, they're checking the hospital, and they're also reviewing surveillance video. Now, the family is stressing. They know that someone knows something, and they're urging people to give his widow some closure with an arrest. Reporting live outside Engine 122 tonight, Jermont Terry, CBS 2 News.
Jermont, thanks.
Now, let me tell you something. These
Carjackings are
savages
soaring in Chicago this year, and the
have jacked somebody else.
at a very busy intersection in Wicker Park.
And they've been doing it for a long time. You know this here. But because, and you're going to see this next video in a minute, but because you do nothing but enable them, they keep doing it. So here's a man sacrificed his life working to save the lives of others. And then somebody decide they want his car, so he had to pay his life. And he went down probably to get him some popcorn. Sometime I be fiending for popcorn too, and I know how that be. But before he can enjoy the luxury of being retired, these creatures hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil, but think all of the damn evil in the world, do all the evil in the world, and you politicians. I can't blame the police, because they might catch him, but it ain't gonna matter, because you damn politicians gonna let him out. How can this be? All of them little creatures that was running 12 and 13 and 14-year-olds this time last year, taking people's cars. You didn't resolve that. Those you caught, you let out. You ain't punished nobody. So now we got a man killed. He just doing one. I know individual women that have had to run in their car, get into their glove compartment, take out their conceal and carry gun, and get ready to shoot these bastards in order to possibly save their life and save their car. But you want to tell everybody, well, just give them your keys, your car insurance. Damn, that ain't the point. The point is the city, the government, has the responsibility to provide safety to its citizens. All of the taxes and fees we pay Why is it that these damn criminals can run loose and kill people and don't be punished? Huh? And you damn aldermen and the mayor and the rest of y'all sitting on your damn ass acting like you don't know what's happening in the community. Shame on you. I don't know how you get past this man losing his life for some dumb butts. And I tell you exactly what they did, man. I know what they did. I hope the bullet, I hope the shot he got off hit this sucker and he's dead by now. And that's what the people got to start doing. Those that got concealed and carry, you got to start killing these bastards every time they look like they gonna approach you. And those of us that can't have concealed and carry, we gonna have to figure it out. So maybe it might be better to have 6 or 12 judging us than carrying us. But we got to start doing this ourselves. We got to start killing these bastards. The government won't punish them, so we got to punish them. You say, you can't say that on TV. What? What? With all of these suckers you got out here saying all of this garbage they saying on the radio, on the TV, on these social medias with this so-called rap and hip-hop? They are the ones that's sending each other off. But yet people like me don't supposed to tell you to kill them back. Kill them back. Show this other piece, brother, because this ain't nothing new.
WGN's Brona Tumulty joins us now with more details. Brona?
Good evening, guys. Yeah, this is an intersection that a lot of viewers will probably recognize. It's right where Damon and Milwaukee meet in Wicker Park. And it was here at a traffic light this morning at around 8 a.m. that a 38-year-old man was carjacked. Police say he was at the red light in a black 2019 Audi A5 when 2 men got out of a silver Jeep that was stopped in front of him. Now, both of those men were armed with handguns. They demanded the victim's vehicle, which he gave them. They got in and fled northwest on Milwaukee, followed by a third offender driving the Jeep, which obviously may have been stolen as well at some point. But it's been a similar experience for many Chicagoans this year. In fact, police data reveals there have been 1,125 reported carjackings in the city this year through November 20th. That's a 124% increase on last year, when the total number of reported carjackings was 501. Earlier this week, a woman previously carjacked earlier in the year chatted with us about what happened to her and says in her case, an arrest was initially made.
He got arrested, and the same day he was out on bail with $500. My cell phone costs more than $500. So I know I am able to get through it, but what's frustrating is that they're getting other people, and that's not okay.
Now, arrests are tough in these cases, it seems, because of the 1,125 this year we mentioned. Police have made arrests in 16% of the cases. And just to emphasize how quickly this is happening, we had a report last week that on Saturday, over the course of about an hour, there were 4 carjackings just in the Wicker Park, Bucktown area. So in those and in many of these cases, suspect descriptions are pretty vague just because it happens so quickly. But if you do have any information that might help police in any of these cases, you're asked to give them a call. You can also submit a tip anonymously through cpdtip.com. We're live in Wicker Park. Brona Tumulty, WGN.
Now, up 124%. How can it be? Police know this. The mayor know this. The aldermen know this. The governor know this. The state's attorney know this. How can you have a 124% increase in crime and do nothing? And only 16% might have been inconvenience for a minute. But you heard the woman say, the one they locked up for moving on her, he was out before she could exhale on a $500 bail. Less than her telephone cost. And all he did was run on out in the street and get another one. And when they shoot you and kill you and take your stuff, they run down the street laughing like damn hyenas. I see it all the time. But you want to make excuses where they howling the pills, they this and that, then you need to eliminate them off the planet Earth. If they so high, they so corrupt, they so toxic, then get rid of them. You need to get rid of that type of garbage. creatures that are existing in our communities now, social service won't save them. Although the man them done jacked up the violence prevention money, and I commend them on that. From about 10 million to 36 million. Hopefully, somebody get help. But remember, Obama sent Holder here back in 2010, around 2009. And Holder was instrumental in getting the cultural calm money, so-called Community Watch, now called Safe Passage. It might go into Protect Chicago. I don't know what that transition is. But I will say this. That was $90 million. But I was sitting there at the table on most of it. And the biggest chunk of the money was sent into the same parasites' bellies and guts that all the other money gets siphoned into. And the only thing left that we can see is the so-called community/safe passage. It ain't that the money didn't come, and I say that to say this, man. Putting more money in it and doing the same old thing you've been doing, been there, done that. We've seen that. And when you keep going to the same type of creatures that's been getting paid for the last 80 years on the same misery in the community, more money, 36 million ain't nothing compared to 90 million. Okay, Daley and them took 50 or 60 million. Safe Passage, I think at that time, Community Watch might have got 7 million. And I told them then, the only thing that's gonna work is this. All that counseling and bullshit, just get out of here with that foolishness. But that's where you put the money. That ain't where you need it. That ain't how you do that. You do that by dealing with niggas like me that understand the drama, the trauma, and the game, and let us go back the way we started the Community Watch with the people that were supposed to be watching. But then you replaced, you denied all of the men, all of them damn near, from being able to get a job because of a background. But you knew that's what the program was designed for. So what did you do? You went and hired them damn women big as this table, wobbling around in the community. What in the hell were they supposed to do? So now you got 95% of all of these, and yet these people out here that if you gave them one of those jobs, some of them wouldn't be jacking, some of them wouldn't be sticking up, some of them wouldn't be using dope. What you do? You discard them because they're ex-offenders. But you said the program was going to include ex-offenders. And we didn't ask to be in the school. We said, hell, 1,000 feet, like the law say, we'll stand 1,000 feet back. And you still send them through hell until you wipe them out. And now they don't even try to get a job no more. But the very people that you won't let have a job are the very people that can solve this problem, man. And these little lap dogs you got laying up in your lap all around the city getting ready to suck up that money from the trough, they can't help you. But us pit bulls, Rottweilers, cane coursers, Dobermans, yeah, we know how to stop this. We would chew their hearts out. How in the hell did you not know that this man or somebody like him was going to get killed? These people just told you up there in Wicker Park. People all over the city telling you. And you sit around and act like it ain't important. You sit around and act like it's all right. And the damn stupid Ottomans call these type of creatures, these savages, entrepreneurs. Now, I guess these entrepreneurs that was out there to take this man's job, to take this man's car, vehicle, to go sell it, I guess they are entrepreneurs too. Dealers now, huh? Car dealers. So instead of calling them what they are, car thieves, carjackers, you call them entrepreneurs. So you empower them and decriminalize them and don't punish them, and they kill people, terrorize people. Boy, you don't need a damn Biden. What you really need I'm going to leave that alone. Let's move on, man. We're running out of time.
So the real question for hospitals and doctors is how can they provide demonstrably higher quality care at a lower cost to get into those silver, bronze tiers? There is going to be this unremitting price pressure on you because you're going to have to get patients to the door. Well, Willie Sutton, the famous bank robber, when asked why he robbed banks, said, that's where the money is. So you have to ask yourself, where's the money in healthcare? Well, here's one way of looking at it, and I want to draw your attention to the far right bar. That's little itty-bitty bar. That says that half the American population is basically out of the healthcare system, 2.7% of healthcare spend, right? Who are they? Well, they're by and large the healthy little kids who don't go to children, or if they go to children for a laceration or some mild condition that's curable. They're young adults. And you can see the third bar says 10% of people consume 2/3 of the healthcare dollars. Who are those people? They're the chronic ill, right? Asthma, diabetes, hypertension, the adult population coronary artery disease, congestive heart failure, COPD, cancer. Those are the people focused on. 85% of all healthcare dollars, 84% of all healthcare dollars are spent on chronic illness. Acute illness is irrelevant to healthcare spending. It's all about chronic conditions. And so if we're going to affect quality, we're going to affect cost, all about those chronic conditions.
Now let me tell you something. I hope that piece said what I wanted it to say. But like I say, you know, this dude, Ron Emanuel, brother, Ezekiel Emanuel, the piece that I hope this one said, the one that I heard, said, he basically was saying that if you're over 75, you just need to go on and die. You part of that. I mean, you know, these 10% of the population is sucking up all of the resources. He sound like that lieutenant governor in Texas, that if you're over 55, go on and die. Dude here, Emmanuel said, hell, if I'm 75, hell, I ain't gonna take no medical treatment because, hell, I know, you know, I'm done. I did all I can do. Well, then why is Washington full of all of them old butt creatures running for office and holding down them offices? Because damn near everything in Washington is past 75, look like. But yet this little boy here is now part of what's his name, Biden's. And that's just, you know, it don't make no sense, man. It's crazy. Now, the other piece you need to understand is
well,
this.
first of all, let's clarify.
Now,
I expect to be
brother,
alive at
Ron
75,
Emanuel.
and I'm not going to kill myself. I don't believe in legalizing euthanasia or assisted suicide. But I am going to stop medical treatments. And I look at 75 when I look at all the data on physical disability, dementia and Alzheimer's disease, loss of creativity, slowing down of the mind and the body. And 75 seems like that, you know, albeit somewhat arbitrary moment where you get the maximum chance you're still going to be vital and alive and vigorous. The American immortal are people who want to put off death as long as possible, want to live as long as possible, get every day out of it. They take all these, they change their diet, they exercise like mad, they take protein concoctions and all sorts of other supplements, and it's almost a religion for them to live as long as possible. And I think they, in their mind, it's that they'll be as vital as they are when they're, say, 50, all the way to the end. Well, that's my personal philosophy. Well, I've heard from hundreds, if not thousands, of people now. One category is people who violently disagree with me and think I'm crazy. One category are people who do agree with me and think I've got it exactly right, and that about half of those people are in the health professions. They're doctors, they're nurses, they work at health insurance companies, they work at home health care agencies, and they almost uniformly, I've been racking my brain to think of one who is a health professional who doesn't agree with me. They almost uniformly say, yes, you're absolutely right.
They're really showing themselves to do really well. Come on,
for thinking and catching it and finding it. You heard him, didn't you? That's how he feels. That's what he will do. And that's what you finna have. That's what's coming. When you look at that cabinet, that replay, minus no respect for the Negro man, you know, he ain't nowhere, you know, it's ridiculous. Now, what we're gonna do is we're gonna find that piece. The next is really two. One of them is TYT, where they start off, they talking about one of the other people that dude has put over the budget management, talking about Biden. This woman here wants to kill Social Security. She's the strong advocate. But before they get to her, they talk about Rahm Emanuel and how people all over the country are resisting him because of his poor performance in Chicago. And there's another piece there about Rahm Emanuel where they talk about, you know, it's crazy because they talking about he should not, and that's the one with the TYT, he should not be given no position in that cabinet. But the people in Chicago seem to have forgotten, particularly the Negroes. They don't seem to see nothing wrong with that. But once again, this is what you wanted. Just get rid of Trump. Get rid of him. He's a liar. He's a this. But look what he doing. This dude here bringing you Rahm Emanuel. He bringing you Rahm Emanuel brother. He bringing all type of stuff back. All you got to do is look at your gas price. He ain't even in office yet. That shit done already went up another $1. See, give it us the next one, brother. I hope it's one of them Rahm Emanuel pieces where they slamming him. Since he local, you know. I wanted him to be, I wanted you all to hear what people in other places are saying and how they see him as being really somebody that would be a slap in the face of so-called progressives if he was end up in Biden cabinet. But look like he might be finna get a good spot, and Biden look like the type of character to me, he probably gonna say, I don't care what you folks saying, I'm the president-elect, and he acting like he's the president. But you know, miracles can happen. He might not be the president. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes truth comes out. And I think what we need to understand, well, that piece you can surely find in Messenger, because that piece is the one that we had on there, Omari. So if you can get to that, that'll work. In the meantime, I'm going to just say this here. Part of what we need to understand is this. These people don't care nothing about you Negroes. So just listen to this. Rahm Emanuel brother say 75, you out. This woman here say Social Security, you don't need none. You ain't got no entitlement. You worked and earned that money, but they're going to get that money to all of these foreigners he finna bring in here. The 11 million people that he finna bring across the water, they're going to have SSI. They're going to have free housing. You ain't going to have nothing. Well, it appears that something is happening in here. But in the meantime, there's a couple other pieces we will look at. And that is, all right, let's see what this happened.
EF Center on Monday, November 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. On November 4th, early in the morning, I was standing at the adjudication table, and a ballot came across the screen. The ballot had a straight party ticket vote for both the Democrat and the Republican. It was a filled-in circle, which is an intentional mark. It's not a dash, it's not a dot. When the ballot came across the screen, there was no other marks, none of the judges, and none of the other ballot proposals had been voted on. The poll worker then said, I think I'm gonna give it to the Democrats. That's absolutely absurd. That is illegal. The vote should have been tossed out. At that moment, I said, absolutely not, I'm gonna challenge this. So I go get her supervisor. And then her supervisor defers to her and says, well, what do you think? And I'm like, well, what do you think? It doesn't matter what you think, it's the law. Our feelings, our emotions, our thoughts are totally irrelevant. You follow the law. And that ballot is to be tossed out. But she wanted to give it to the Democrats. So then I go get the gentleman who was overseeing the entire absentee ballot counting process while Daniel Baxter was gone. So this gentleman's name I do not know. I go get him. He's overseeing the entire process while Daniel Baxter is gone. I ask him. He says to the girl, what do you think? It was disgusting. I was enraged, and I simply asked a question. I said, well, Why not give it to the Republicans instead of the Democrats? The gentleman began screaming at me, began yelling at me, began telling me that I had no right to talk to her, and he told her to push the ballot through. And prior to that, that same poll worker, a ballot came across the adjudication screen where this voter had voted for Joe Biden and the Green Party presidential candidate, and she gave the vote to Joe Biden. I also saw the ballots show up in the middle of the night. Also, I inquired about the tabulation numbers from the tabulation machine between shift changes. I was denied that information. We saw a lot of irregular things. This is not an anomaly. Just because all of us have different accounts of what we saw, that doesn't make them invalid. And to expect Secretary Benson to actually do something about it is foolhardy. To accept Dan and Nessel to do anything about it would be foolhardy. So we're appealing to you guys to do something about it. Because if our elections aren't fair, then we have no republic left. It's a banana republic. We have nothing. And we don't trust the election process. Why do you think a lot of people don't vote? Because they feel it's the big fraud.
Now, I know you're going to say that's fake news. You're going to say she lying. You're going to say Trump never paid her. You the liar. You know what she say is true. All over the place. They got people all over the place telling the truth, but the media and them rich people, they are the ones. That same software, hardware, or madware they call Dominion. You know, you can hate Trump all you want to, but that don't change nothing, man. That woman ain't lying. I know you know that we, in those areas where they saying all of this contention is because of these damn in-the-mail type ballots, you know that ain't our way of doing things. But you want to sit here and try to pretend that something is wrong with Trump. What's wrong is that you, the government, the media, is pulling off a coup. Brother, see, can you find that piece with the governor of West Georgia? Or whatever. Just come on, whatever you got, because I'm looking at this clock. Just go with it. We're going to play ball.
Why not say then, this is for you. This is for African Americans. If there was a banking crisis, then you'd target money for the banks. If there was a national disaster, you target your money for the national for disaster relief.
That's not how America works.
We want to give those young people and young Native Americans like them the support they deserve. We have to invest in them and believe in them and love them.
Why not target the African American community? Why not say then, this is for you. This is for African Americans.
That's not how America works.
President Barack Obama has begun new initiatives aimed at helping young American Indians or Native Americans overcome the many challenges they face, from poverty to substance abuse.
Why not target the African American community? Why not say then, this is for you. This is for African Americans.
That's not how America works.
Few have been more marginalized and ignored by Washington for as long as Native Americans, or First Americans.
Why not target the African American community? Why not say then, this is for you. This is for African Americans.
That's not how America works.
Well, we can go on. You all get my flavor. Let me tell you what the flavor is. The flavor is this. He sounds just like Harris, like I said in the beginning. So he, Harris, and Biden, they're all on the same team as it relates to Negroes. So reparations is out. But he's sitting there talking about Native Americans. But when you talk about Negroes, oh, that ain't how it work in America. But that's the one you love. That's the one you say they wouldn't let do. He did everything he wanted to do. You all need to, see no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil. But you can think all the evil you want. Yeah, that's what you do. You're sorry. Let's listen to this dude here. This thing here might turn out to help.
Senator Loeffler, you're not called early on for a signature audit. Obviously, the Secretary of State, per the laws and the Constitution, would have to order that. He has not done that. I think it should be done. I think, especially with what we saw today, it raises more questions. There needs to be transparency on that. I would again call for that, and I think in the next 24 hours, hopefully we'll see a lot more from the hearings that the legislature had today, and we'll be able to look and see what the next steps are. But
now, you don't want to hear that. I know you don't want to hear it. You just saw the woman. What's his name been telling you all the time this was happening? Now, because they got this race in January, they're trying to deal with what they're trying to deal with, but the truth of the matter is simple. These people have already discovered, and they already know. But you don't want to deal with that. But who knows? The 14th is still 10 days away. Trump need to find him some real good lawyers and investigators and prove his point. And I don't give a damn what you say as it relates to what I'm saying. He need to prove his point, and that is that this damn election was rigged. That's the truth. And you Negroes know. You just been stampeded by your enemy that you think is your friend, the Democratic Party. Come on, brother. Okay, this will work. Now, this piece here is good. We might not even do no more than just show you the headline. Now, you know, they're going to add $300 more to that stimulus. This is just the idea they throwing around. So they give you $1,500 if you take the shot, the vaccine. See how little they think about you? See how stupid they think you are? And then for Biden to say, well, the reason people don't want to take it is because of Trump. You little old senile bastard. There wouldn't be no vaccine if it wasn't for Trump. Trump done already took his cocktail, which is probably part of what the vaccine is about. So you got what's his name? Clinton, Bush, and Obama saying we'll take it. And now Biden said, I'll take it, woo woo. But you're trying to diss where it came from. The dude that you all hating has already taken something and recovered. Now here you creatures think I'm supposed to be impressed about you gonna do something? He already done it. But had it been one of you Democrats, you'd be 5 years away. A whole lot of more people would be dead. You act like he the one that killed the people. Stop playing. Stop faking. Stop lying. Come on, brother, just speed it up.
President Trump has told advisors he wants to run again in 2024 and may announce that decision before the inauguration, maybe even on Inauguration Day. That move would be a concession of sorts that Joe Biden is going to become the next president, even as President Trump continues to contest the election via the media and various court options. Chief White House correspondent John Roberts has all of that tonight.
President Trump today enthusiastically embracing the news about Moderna's coronavirus vaccine, urging government agencies to expedite its approval, tweeting, Moderna now applying for emergency vaccine approval. U.S. FDA must act quickly. Operation Warp Speed has been a great modern-day miracle. The president less pleased with state officials in Georgia as the election recount there nears its end. Georgia's Republican Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger citing, quote, massive amounts of misinformation that is being spread by dishonest actors.
There are those who are exploiting the emotions of many Trump supporters with fantastic claims, half-truths, misinformation, and frankly, they are misleading the president as well, apparently.
Raffensperger did say his office has opened more than 250 investigations of potential voter fraud. But President Trump wants more, taking aim at both Raffensperger and Governor Brian Kemp in a morning tweet saying, why won't Governor Brian Kemp, the hapless governor of Georgia, use his emergency powers, which can be easily done, to overrule his obstinate Secretary of State and do a match of signatures on envelopes? It will be a goldmine of fraud, and we will easily win the state. On Fox's Sunday Morning Futures, the president saying he regrets endorsing Kemp in Kemp's 2018 election.
He's done absolutely nothing. I'm ashamed that I endorsed him.
This concludes the official canvass of the November 3rd, 2020 general election.
At the same time, Arizona today certified its election
they get
results.
The flavor. And whatever else you got, let's just go through them so they can get. Okay, we can talk about this one. I'm gonna be going on fast forward now because I'm looking at the clock. All right, you can stop again. Let me make the commentary on mine. Now, I just wanted to show y'all this. Some people have been talking about this. You know, these females in the restaurant, $50 a plate, and they get in there and do what you just saw them doing. Now, these are mothers and grandmothers. And then they're tweaking their behinds. Now, that's a traditional dance over there in Africa and all them other places, Puerto Rican and a lot of places where they do that. But it don't mean what you see them doing over here. Over here, they're just doing it with some old sexual perverted ass flirtatious foolishness. But when it's done in the cultures where it means what it's supposed to mean, it's done clean and honorable. That what you just saw there is disgraceful. Disgraceful. But don't no man supposed to say that. You supposed to just let them do whatever. It's disgraceful. Now they supposed to be untouchable. They supposed to be beyond anything you can say. But look, like one man was saying on the show the other morning, you know what I mean? Had they started playing church music, would they all start shouting and having the Holy Ghost? If you see a dude up in there and he started thugging, now you think he's the worst thing in the world. So what was they doing? Tweaking. You women need to go somewhere and sit your behinds down, because you really, you need to go sit down. Y'all doing too much. I mean, you really are. You claiming that it's all about you. You can do what you want to do, and that's what you are. And you wonder why these damn savages out here, because your tweaking behind is what tweaked them out. That's what got them in you, tweaking. And that's what you doing instead of raising them. And you done run their daddy crazy on dope or to the penitentiary. He just looked at you one day and said, damn, this is what I got? Now, don't get me wrong. I ain't slamming you women. You slam yourself. You need to sit your ass down. Your children sucking. All right, brother, run this.
Follow up with you on the vaccine. If the FDA gives emergency authorization to the Pfizer or Moderna vaccine in the coming weeks, will you get vaccinated? And if you're hesitant, why should any American have confidence in the vaccine?
Well, first of all, we'll see if that comes forward. And secondly, it's important that people who are in the greatest need get it. I wouldn't hesitate to get the vaccine. But I also want to set an example. But I wouldn't hesitate to get the vaccine if, in fact, Dr. Fauci and these two organizations, whether it's Moderna or Pfizer, who have been extremely responsible, conclude that it is safe and able to be done. Look, the only reason people question the vaccine now is because of Donald Trump. That's the reason why people are questioning the vaccine, because all the things he says and doesn't say, whether it's truthful, is it not truthful, the exaggerations. I think we're on a clear path now. We're on a clear path with the international community and national leaders.
All right, brother, we can cut this. See, now
and the scientific community have focused on these two vaccines.
It speaks for itself. Show the one where Obama and them standing up there. Even if you don't do numbers, use a picture with the three of them standing up there. Is there any video to that? If it is, cool. If it ain't, you get the flavor. Bottom line is, he's standing there. This dude here, man, Ezekiel Emmanuel, I don't know what the hell he talking about. He talking about people being, he talking about 75, you don't get no help. What he gonna do for his boss? I guess he gonna let his boss just what? Be senile and run the country? What else we got up there, brother? Well, I think there's a time when we come and we looking at some things, and the vaccine, it don't matter about the vaccine, man. They got it. Show me that monster. Because see, the monster here on the vaccine, let's look at that for a second. Now, this is what people want you to think is gonna be happening. Vaccine might make you do that, might not. But they saying that it'll be ready. In some places, it's ready now, in the UK and other places. But just like Trump said, they were going to release it, and they releasing it now, but they could have did in October. But it's all political. So people have to use common sense. Take it if that's what you want to do. But don't forget what happened with syphilis, particularly you Negroes. Don't forget what Ezekiel was saying. It ain't Trump that's the reason Negroes don't want to take it. It's your history. We know what you're going to do. We know who's most at risk. And we know who you're going to set aside to die first. Old folk. But they going to be black. And if they're lucky, they might be in a nursing home. If not, they might be at home. And even worse than that, they might be homeless. We know that's what's coming. But some employers already said the only way you're going to work here is you're going to have that temperature taken and you're going to have a vaccination. If you don't get vaccinated, you will not have a job. You see what they're doing? They're going to force you because they want to have at least 75% woo-woo-woo to get ahead of the so-called herd piece. But what they want to do is sell the Negro. And that's why they got this counterfeit Obama running around here as if he can influence somebody to do something. You need to take your counterfeit CIA descendant self somewhere, man, and just go back to Kenya some damn way. Or Hawaii. And stay out of Negro's business. Because you had your chance. And now you're sitting here running around with Biden. As if you all gonna do something different than what y'all did. You didn't do it. You ain't gonna do it. See one more time if you can get anything with Rahm Emanuel. I want them to hear how people sound about, how people feel about Rahm Emanuel. And I don't know where that piece is, but it should be there, even in that piece with, like I say, TYT, where people are saying that Rahm Emanuel is probably the worst thing that could happen, and it would be such a pity that he get rewarded for his failure in Chicago. Anyhow, forget about it, man. We're going on. All right, y'all, we did what we had to do, and we just got back here today, and I'm glad we back. Yeah, I was intense. I'm intense because of the fact people losing their lives and these politicians playing these silly games. And for those of you that have a problem with my passion or whatever you want to call it, go somewhere and sit down. You know what I'm saying? Don't look. Don't listen. But I'm going to do this here. You know what I'm saying? Don't get in your feelings about how I present. This here, this y'all, this is hear no evil, speak no evil. But you do plenty evil. You think plenty evil. And when you dealing with black people, you speak plenty evil. But when it comes down to protecting black people, you don't see nothing, you don't say nothing, you don't think nothing. All you want to do is hate. Hate on me, and that hate going back and burn your ASS up. And yeah, I'm going to stay intense. Because it's quite obvious for the next 4 years, you're going to need some intensity because it's going to be in your face every day. How stupid you have been in voting to get rid of somebody instead of voting for somebody that could do something. I ain't talking about Trump for somebody. I'm talking about something other than them two. But instead, you went along with what they gave you, and they gave you 2 blanks. And now here we are, facing 4 years of going back to what was 8 years, where the Negro got nothing. And do you mean to think that somehow he gonna get more under Biden and Harris, who said they ain't gonna do nothing special for Negroes? Well, who knows? Maybe he'll do something other than give you hope. But if he don't give you enough hope, don't go get dope. Call the West Side Heroin Opioid Task Force and let them get you some Narcan, because they're going to have to bring you up out of that stupor. Until next week, Alafia. Peace and good health.